All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. This week is basically already gone. NASDAQ, NQ trading lower this morning. So let's kind of recap past couple days. Tuesday, bounce versus support, right? We talked about higher time frame support. NQ showing a nice bounce there versus last week's low. You get the bounce. And then yesterday, what I was looking for was whether or not buyers could show follow through of Tuesday's action. Tuesday almost closed as a hammer. At one point during the day, that looked like a very nice hammer on Tuesday for that daily bar right there, but ended up closing more as a doji, long tail doji, right? Kind of has that hammer shape, not quite, but kind of there. So Wednesday, we want to see if there's going to be some follow through. There is indeed follow through on Wednesday, right? Yesterday we talked about 24,800. Nice structure develops there in the morning and then it just rockets higher. Pretty much left most traders behind. I certainly didn't catch that move. I know one or two of you did, but I think that move left most people behind. You get a mid-morning, kind of early afternoon distribution. A little distribution right through there, right? Volume point of control shifts up into the highs, and then price rolls over. Hits the rollover. Overnight, we see a retest into the 25K area, and then now we're back into 24,800. So we've got, from a structural perspective, we definitely have some bearishness over the past couple of weeks, right? I mean, this chart right here is very clearly pointing down. That much is known. There's a high, lower high right through there, right? Question is this action going to kind of develop another lower high? Or is this more of just a sideways range? I'm kind of treating this for now as just a near term neutral range, bearish neutral. And so for this morning, really what I want to focus on is pretty similar to yesterday. I just want to see how price is going to respond to 24,800 right here. We can see the 2 hour, this still has half an hour on it, but we can see the 2 hours trying to shape up into a hammer. Right? So let's take a look at the 30. Yeah, so into the open, this is kind of just a barcode, 30-minute barcode. But what I'm going to be focused on is this section of price right through here. I want to see, can buyers defend this? Can this area hold as support? Can 24,800 and the prior day low hold as support? I'll definitely be looking for potential spring setup, maybe overnight low spring, depending on how that looks, maybe a prior day low spring. Depending on how that looks, I definitely have both those within my plan today. But as always, it just depends on how the action materializes in that spot. And then we'll take it from there. So least favorite scenario would be like if price just rips right off the open, if buyers just step in right off the open, there's not a lot I can do with that until we get up into 25K. Maybe I'll look at a market structure base opportunity versus 25K for a scalp into overnight high, and then kind of reassess when price gets into overnight high. On the flip side of that, because it is, a near term more neutral, if we do see just a flush through here, there's really not a lot that I want to do until the 700 area, which is going to be monthly volume point of control, or excuse me, monthly value area low. And then you do have some structural support through there as well. So I'll keep an eye on the 700. But ultimately, if there's a failure here, I would not be surprised to see price come back down in this area. So that's kind of where my thoughts are at for this morning on NASDAQ. NASDAQery. RTY yesterday definitely gave play of the day. We talked about that quite a bit on stream. And the opens in 30 seconds. We do have a 10 a.m. data print this morning. That's more of a low impact print, but 10 a.m. data print nonetheless. So you know what that means. And let's see the open. Let's see the open right here. Okay. So there's our open. Gabe, no gambling today? Yes, sir. No gambling. We want to be intentional with our trades. We want to be focused. We want to trade our plan. That's it. That's it. We want to respect our rules, right? That's what I want to do anyway. I don't know if everyone wants to do that. That's definitely what I want to do. So strength right off the open. Patience. Patience. It's what we talk about every day. Patience. If you guys are in the traders think tank, Mr. Rain Man is going to be going over some charts and just talking about trading live in the traders think tank at 11 Eastern today. So keep an eye out for that. Again, if you're in the traders think tank, he will be going live for a little presentation, a little discussion. And then after that, after the close, we do have TMG coaching call today. So a couple of educational activities for traders think tank members. NASDAQ, good volume off the open per usual. We need some direction here. Catrick rather sluggish open compared to the volatility of the past couple days. Yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely pretty slow open so far. 15-minute just showing barcode from overnight session and 30-minute as well, right? Right, until we need to see price kind of leave this little barcode right there. Long wicked barcode, Gabe. Yeah. Yeah, we're chilling. It's early, man. We're not even 5 minutes in yet. Market just opened. So NQ getting back into the lows. I like to see how that 800 is going to be treated. I want to see 800. You got the overnight low through there. You're going to have prior day low a little bit lower. So that's kind of what I want to see. NASDAQ new low. New low on the morning. So there's your overnight low. And just gone. There's the weekly open, 800. And let's see. That's a big risk there if that's going to be the spring. So I'll probably pass on that. I really want to eat 50 points on a spring setup. Trade of 8 gone wacko. I have some resting orders that won't clear. So yeah, well, hopefully those don't get filled. I guess we'll see here in a sec. But yeah, if you guys are using Trade of 8, there may be some issues right now. Just FYI. Okay, they just cleared. They just cleared. Muggsy just tried to market buy on Trade of 8 and nothing happened. All right. Yeah, it sounds like careful, everyone. Let me hit a quick reload on Trade of 8. Quick little refresh. refresher. Gabe Tredovate is the new Project X. Man, it seems like it, doesn't it? Jeez. How crazy. Okay. It's working for me. So we'll see. I took a modified spring setup here. Wait for the little microstructure. Peeled one off because the risk is just big. The structure anyway. So peel one off quick, drop the size, make it more appropriate. Hopefully Turtlebait doesn't like lock me in this or anything like that. That would be unfortunate. And the idea there, like I mentioned, kind of modified spring setup. So it looks like it may just take the stop. The spring, like I was mentioning, I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was Tuesday, but that's really a trade you want it to sweep whatever low you're looking at and go immediately. If it comes back to your entry, it's not the end of the world, but typically not the best sign. Not the best sign for the spring, because the idea with the spring is it's a trap. So if market participants are actually trapped, price should go and go fast. But at least the broker's working, from what I can see anyway. Dave, watched it go straight past my trade buy. So you didn't get filled on trade of eight, is what it sounded like. Nothing, which may have been a saving. Yeah, hopefully you didn't get like a phantom fill and the platform is just not reloading or not updating properly. You may want to reload. On Apple computers, you can reload Trade08 with Command R. So stop through the lows here, and I'll look again depending on how that action resolves near prior day low. PDL. Volume below average. ES potentially with the higher low there versus prior day low, overnight low area. Next 5 minute bar has about 2 minutes on it. And the opening 15 minute bar is about to close as well. Wow, this morning is flying. What the heck? Matt, that's a good call. Be a little proactive with it. It may have just been a little blip, a little data issue blip. Okay, there's the second trim. So we'll go edit the quantity here. Yeah, we'll just make this a free trade now. See if price can take the session highs. There's an overnight low spring setup for you. ES has marked a new high of day. Gabe, market buy didn't go through. That's not good. That doesn't make me feel great about having an open position. I'll tell you that. So ES gave a very nice higher low right at the reference points, right at the overnight low, prior day low. We'll probably get trailed right here. We'll take it. We'll take the scalp. All right, 1 for 1 on the morning, and it's on to the next. So, bit of a choppier open here. Just kind of sideways, no real direction. We'll take that trade, and we'll see what's next here. Fit opening 15-minute bar closes pretty much as a doji. So let's see how this structure kind of builds out near 800. Considering price did not make a fresh high on the day, I will not set at risk against this spot again, but I may consider a prior day low if we have some sort of decent setup near PDL, near prior day low, which currently sits at 24,752. There's better volume coming in now. So that looks good. We like volume. If you guys are still having issues with Tradovate, post in the chat so we could just stay aware. Superstar, yours is working just fine. That's good. That's good. That's good. Fatigue filled fine. Okay, solid. Good deal. So just staying patient right now. I mean, look at the 1 minute. It's just there's a lot of barcode, right? Wide intraday structure so far. Let's see our 5 minute RTH. Not a lot of clarity there either. NQ just kind of sitting near that prior day low. And of course, this is like we discussed earlier, there's weekly volume point of control, monthly volume point of control, weekly open right here. And basically churn zone, 24,800 churn. Oh yeah, Gabe. Oh yeah. Prop firms love some high volatility chop. That is for sure. Okay, NASDAQ back into 850. Look at the hourly. See that hourly bar? Let's see how it closes here. 9 minutes. By 10 a.m., we should have a lot more solid info. And like I said, so far, just with the one little scalp, looking at overnight low spring. Lacks the real follow through that I want. And so we trail tight. Let's see what's next. Let's see what's next. ES is back in 2 session highs. Don't forget 10 a.m. data. Okay, so NQ 24,865. And now just shy of that session high. I like the shape of this 30-minute bar. Let's see, current highs at 885. NQ currently 875. ES marked a new high of day, so ES leading NQ a little bit this morning. Good old S&P. Let's see if we actually get that new high of day. It was a push right here. Push, push. 30-minute is looking good though. See the 30, see the hourly. Okay, NQ new high of day. New high being made. So if price can break basically 900, this little pre-market structure right here, Should be good for up into 25K, just based on higher time frame structure. Let's see what 10 a.m. looks like here in 5 minutes or so. How we looking so far? Almost 30 minutes in. Anyone trading yet? Anyone active yet? Critique entry on RTY. Nice. Mike's already small green. Josh, cash all day if there's going to be the action. Beeling 0 for 1. Stop loss got wicked. Dave caught the long eventually. Gabe cash. NASDAQ new high of day. There we go. There we go. So up through 24,900. Look at your hourly. Now what I want to see is if this move can hold post 10 a.m. Strength can continue above 900 post 10 a.m. Look at the volume on that sell bar. There's anyone who's long from lower, trails get hit, stops get hit, and then vertical. Gotta love it. Same thing as yesterday. Same exact thing as yesterday. So I'm hands off until 10 after this morning's little scalp setup. And 10 a.m. in 2 minutes. You do have data at 10. It's more of a minor print. It's pending home sales at 10 a.m. Here we go. 30-minute closure, hourly closure in 1 minute. Let's see the 2 hour as well. Yeah, I like how that 2 hour looks for a continuation move. We'll see if that can show any follow through here post 10. That's the question right now. $24,875. Looks like you guys are trailing out of the long. It's probably a good call ahead of 10. Smart move. Okay, there's 10 a.m. So my focus really remains on, given current location, on the 800 area as far as levels that I can actually engage with down near session lows. Just want to make sure I pick my spots carefully in this more bearish environment. As someone who trades long only. Dave, Tradovate gone wacky again? What happened? Orders not filling? What's going on? Order did not fill or what? I hate to hear when there's broker issues. It makes me not want to do anything. I'll tell you that. Some lag. Okay. Okay. So Nasdaq buyers back in it versus volume point of control 850. Gummy bear Tridovate laggy today. Misprices entries. Okay, we're seeing Tradovate issues pretty much across the board here. Matt, something weird's going on in Tradovate. I had two accounts copy traded together and one passed the eval, but the other didn't. That could be related to the copier. But yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of issues right now. Right near the open, I did experience it where I had an order out that would not close, but then it cleared up. Let me just hit a refresh on Tradovate again. Let's see if I can. Okay, I can put an order in and I can cancel it. That looks decent. So Nasdaq's back into session highs. We see a bounce there versus volume point of control. Potentially a little intraday trend higher in the making. And fresh highs being made. Fresh highs. So 2 hours showing good follow through now. Challenge is an entry. That's the challenge here. Good volume coming in as the highs are taken out. Look at the 5-second chart. There's always entries there. I mean, for trade location, once price is in a good location, I don't have a problem finding the entry. Typically, but for me, location is first and foremost. How many setups do I have? Just a few. Just a few. They're all based on market structure as far as setups. Good volume. I like the volume. So NASDAQ has closed the overnight gap here, right? That's Wednesday's close. So the gap has been filled. The small overnight gap has been filled. In addition to the gap being filled, you did have the weekly value area high right there at 960. Tricky spot here. Tricky spot for longs. Not in a big rush right now, I'll tell you that. Like next spot I'd really want to engage would be above 25K. If we can see a move up and through 25K. So far, this is technically an inside day. Price has yet to leave the prior day's range. B. McKenzie, new to the stream, welcome in. Bread and butter setup would be THT, 2-hour trader. But I have now fully automated that, so I don't trade it manually anymore. But I still think that is the easiest setup for new and developing traders to learn and master. Personally, Andre, my point of control on AVP isn't moving up. Mine is currently at 24,850 for anchored volume point of control, and I always anchor it to the opening bar, so we get the regular sesh. So I look at two volume profiles for the regular session. One is extended hours, and the other is regular trading hours. For the regular trading hours, you have to anchor it to the open, and I just use that for additional reference points. Point of control, value area high, value area low, as a way to help add conviction to ideas that I'm already interested in. So just use volume profile in its most basic form. Matt, this is starting to look like an inside date. Yeah, so far we just have overnight gap being filled. Price is bumping into prior day close, prior day value area low. We know the weekly value area high is right through here. And then, of course, the big resistance zone at 25K is just overhead. I mean, really, I need action above 25K or back down into 25,800. Gabe, looking like a lower high. What time frame? You talking right here on the hourly? Lower high pre-market, maybe a lower high RTH. Is that what you're talking about? Or do you mean this whole move? The 4 hour? Yeah, that's kind of the question right now. Because the structure on the 4 hours definitely stepping lower. No doubt about it. That is stepping lower. So is this a lower high? That is the question. That's the question right now. Higher time frame, yeah. So what makes this a trickier location? Trickier spot, no doubt. Four-hour didn't make a lower low. So let's see. 4 hour. Right over here. Yeah, it's true. No lower low right there. That's why near term is neutral. Mentioned before the bell, kind of treating this like near term range. Yep. So let's see how price responds down here. Let's see how we're looking back down into 800. I'd like to see more volume come in. That would be ideal. Always want more volume. ES kind of in no man's land. Let's take a look at Russell. So Russell swept prior day low. That doesn't look very clean there on RTY. It's a little messy. Let's check out YM. YM sideways is just a range so far. GC, I've not looked at this in a while. The gold is rallying. You got a rally right there in GC, just shy of prior day high for the gold traders. Although I think gold is still banned at most of the prop firms, isn't it? If it's too volatile, they're not gonna let you trade it. How silly! And they'll tell you it's to protect you, but it's not. It's to protect them. Silver, think all the hype in silver's died now. Yeah, that thing is spready, low volume again. That was fun while it lasted, but just a flash in a pan. That's silver. And you just have ES. Yeah, not doing much here. Trinivate is down now, Matt. Let's see. For me, it's still up. I still got some price movement here. $45 into the sesh. NQ 24,920. Let's get a check on the 5 minute again. Yeah, so 5 minute just showed a pullback there. And now buyers are back in it. Let's see the fib, maybe 38%, just eyeballing it. Oh no, all the way down into the 50. So it pulls back into the 50% fib, retracement, and bounces. Call that the fib buy zone. FBZ. 50 to 61% fib buy zone. I mean, the main thing right now is this 2 hour showing some follow through. This 2 hour candle, this 2 hour hammer versus monthly volume point of control. The challenge is you have all the resistance in here. And so that's, like I said, that's what makes the location tough. Some locations are going to be more challenging than others. Some near-term structures are going to be more challenging than others. Part of our job is to recognize that and know when to lean off the keys a bit, know when to do less. So a lot of developing traders treat every trading day exactly the same. And every trading day is not the same. It's not the same. I think it was Muggsy yesterday with the surfing analogy, waiting for the right wave, right? Staying patient for the right wave. Well, borrowing that same analogy, some days are going to be better than others. Some days you're going to have a really nice swell, and some days there's just going to be nothing out there. It's going to be flat. So I don't know how many people surf or are familiar with surfing, but so that's a rock solid analogy. Maybe golf would be a good one. You know, if you're golfing when it's windy and rainy, probably not going to be the same as when it's a nice day. So conditions, conditions play a big impact in the quality of setups that you're going to see, and then how well you do on the day. When conditions are easier, it's straight up easier to make money. My whole goal is to align myself with those easier plays during those easier conditions. It's like cliche now, but really waiting for the fat pitch. It's real. Poker analogies, yeah, there's a lot of good ones with poker. Reminds me of a great book called Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. It's about poker. Phenomenal book for traders. I recommend everyone read that one. Thinking in Bets. Very good. Very good. Gabe tapping out. No trade day. All right, man. Good discipline today. Take care. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. We're only 50 minutes into the sesh, so we may as well just keep watching. See how this NASDAQ intraday structure continues to develop and build out, and just stay patient. See price struggling with that value area high, volume point of control area. That previous day value area low isn't led through. Yeah, you have some confluence through here. Prior day value area low, and then the weekly value area high. There's that weekly value area high. So let's see. Let's see if sellers are really going to step into this thing or not. Volume starting to improve a little bit. But so far, there's straight inside day. There's a pure inside day. Basically, test and hold a prior day low, more or less on the 5 minute, fill the gap, retest prior day value area low, and now 5 minute has settled into some barcode, meaning all of the bars right here are overlapping. There's no direction, right? There's overlapping bars, barcode. So far, my day is just a scalp. Overnight low spring setup lacks the follow through I want. So we trail tight. And there has not been another setup within my playbook. So our job when there's not a setup, where's our job when there's not a setup? It's to literally just sit and do nothing. Sit and watch. Try not try not to get bored. Try not to place any boredom trades. Fatigue will take scalp Thursday and wait for sushi Friday. That's what I'm talking about right there. Speaking my language now. Okay, so the next 30-minute bar closes in 4 minutes. Let's see what we're working with. Let's see it. Josh, cash day better than a red day. I would agree with that. Cash day infinitely better than a red day. Yep. How do you pick your levels of interest? Higher time frame structure. Just looking at areas where price has responded previously. Price tends to have a memory in those locations of supply and demand. So if it had a significant bounce from one place, then if price retests that place, I would expect a reaction from that same area. It's the very basic principle that I follow. But yeah, we have a lot of videos about that in TMG. Check out the TMG archive, and then I think even a few have been posted here on the channel as well. Okay, look at this 30-minute bar showing more exhaustion there. How's the daily shaped? Yeah, inside day. Inside day on the daily. Let's see. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow we have Oh, okay. So tomorrow we have PCE and GDP. Yeah, PCE. So this could very well just be a resting day before the big PCE. Yeah, okay, that's good info. A very good info. All right, 1 minute till this next 30. This is what I want to see. Is the next 30-minute bar opening up going to give us a little flurry, a little burst of activity? Andre, I try and share the full context, the full chart context in the notes every morning in the pre-market prep notes. So you should be able to pick it up from the pre-market prep notes. The chart that is shared there should be helpful to kind of identify where those levels are being pulled from. All right, Jeff, no trade day. Take care, man. We'll see you tomorrow. And here comes that next 30-minute bar. So let's see if we get maybe an uptick in volume. Okay, so this structure might be starting to crack here, crack lower. Andre, that's all good, man. We have a lot of resources in the think tank, so I know it's a little overwhelming at first, but just take your time, comb through it. It will all make sense. And if you can, pop into the coaching calls Thursdays after the close. So we have one today after the close. Rain Man is also going to be going live today at I believe 11 a.m. Eastern. So probably in about 30 minutes. If you can catch that one in the Traders Think Tank, join that. Join that. He's got some good info. Marlon, how is APT's performance last few weeks? Let's look. So nothing on NQ this morning. Looks like one short on YM that hit PT1 and then trailed out. Well, not bad. Not bad. NQ's been getting a little beat up recently. With 2 weeks ago, I think I had like a 22K week on NASDAQ and YM catching two massive trend moves. But choppier conditions, not good for APT. We need some trend moves. Trendy. Andre, I won't be able to get to coaching because of work, but I'll definitely be at Rainman's. So check the recording as well if you have time for it. The recordings are always posted. You'll find them there under Trading Mentorship Group. And we keep a full year backlog. So all the recordings are there. I recommend going through the recordings. And then I don't know if you've seen this either, but when you navigate to Trading Mentorship Group, in the top right, there's a pinned post where you can submit questions. So if you have questions that you want answered on the coaching call, submit them there. And then I'll answer them, even if you're not there live. And you can go back into the recording and watch. Okay, so NASDAQ just holds the intraday structure. There's kind of this mid-morning range here between 850 and 950. Chop zone. Like I don't want to do anything through here personally. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to mess around with that. I have no desire to trade that. I have no edge there. I have no edge there. So why would I have any desire to trade that, right? So I maintain that I either want to see action above 25K. Show me action above here big psychological level, or I'll look at this. I mean, this whole area again for potential bounce. I like the bounce there, or potentially prior day low spring if price wants to roll over even more. Dom drop the time frame and get silly. Nah, no sir, no sir. Any location, trade location, trade location. That does everything for me. Most of my edge is based on location. The setup for me doesn't matter as much. If you have good location, that was a nice turning point in my own trading development. Focusing too much on setups, too much on setups, too much on setups, and I was like, wait a minute. Some of these setups they are more prone to work than others. Why is that? Oh, they materialize in certain areas. Oh, maybe I should focus on the certain areas where they are more prone to have a better outcome, a better reaction. So that's why I talk so much about trade location. Albert, there's always an entry on the 5 second time frame. That's true. That's true. But like we say, entries are a dime a dozen, right? Setups are a dime a dozen. Setup is not a strategy, it's just a way to get involved. A good strategy is gonna have multiple components. One of those is trade location, and then that also incorporates the setup. It may incorporate some other things too, like volume or time of day, right? That's how you build out a strategy right there. So that 30-minute bearish bar did not show any follow through just yet. That exhaustion bar, big exhaustion bar, previous bar on the 30-minute, sellers could not show follow through. NASDAQ just bounces. So look at the move. We talk about this quite frequently, but I like to mention the opening of a new 30-minute bar usually coincides with, a little burst of activity, a little flurry of action, if you will. And look, 10:30, and what do you get? Just pure vertical. Well, 100-point move off the low right there. God, that's a 100-point structure. It doesn't look like it. Josh, that's how you blow accounts. What, just slapping up the range in no man's land? Yeah, I believe it. I mean, the barrier to entry to place a trade is essentially nothing, right? You click one little button and you're in a trade. Does that mean you're trading with edge? No, definitely not. Definitely not. No, you can literally just click buy market and we're in, right? So barrier to entry is very, very low. It's too easy. It's too easy. That's why you got to set frameworks for yourself. You got to set rules of engagement, right? Mike, want to make a trade or want to make money? That has helped me to stay away from stupid trades. I like it. Yeah, you have a better chance of making money if you respect your edge, follow your edge. Let's see, it's 10:40. Yeah, we may want to call it here shortly. Another pretty slow morning, slow day. We got the longs near 24,800. We give it an attempt down there, and always in the first 30 minutes of the day, I tend to trail even more tightly because the open is a period that is often characterized by more whipsaw. And so I'd rather just take what I can while price kind of finds its direction, if you will. Now, there's going to be scenarios where, like we see frequently, it just rips. So the goal with a trade for me that close to the open is to find or to align with the big momentum, the ripper, if you will. And if it doesn't materialize, then just cut it. Wait for that next opportunity. That's how I treat those kind of earlier morning trades, personally, anyway. The open typically, or trades in close proximity to the open, typically a more challenging period for all traders. In my experience, with my own trading, and then just through coaching other traders, that early period is just it's loss making. It is not productive to a trader's equity curve. And so a lot of the times, I've worked with a number of traders where we just eliminate the first 15 minutes of the session from their playbook. Like, you cannot trade the first 15 minutes. And unsurprisingly, results just improve massively. That's one kind of overlooked thing that a lot of traders don't look at in their own results, is like, okay, do I have a specific time of day where I perform better than other times? And if you kind of segment those early in the sesh trades, I'd be looking at like first 5 minutes, first 15 minutes, first 30 minutes. That kind of give you a good idea if there's any patterns through there. Yeah, Nasdaq really slowing down right here. Slow mo. Volume tapering down. About an hour and 15 into the session. How's everyone's morning so far? I know a lot of you are cashed out, no trade day, which to me honestly seems like the best move here, just based on this action. Garbage. Pratik 1 for 1. Nice work. Beautiful. Josh Cash. Yes, sir. Marlon Cash. Nice. Good. Remember, a cash day, a no trade day is not a failure. Does not mean you did anything wrong. A lot of traders think if they took a cash day, a no trade day, it was an unproductive session. That is not true. That is not true. Cash is a position. Remember that we do not approach the market for activity. We approach the market to look for and engage with price when we have a statistical edge. Some days that's not going to be there. B-Link red 2 for 4. That's a lot of trades today, if you ask me. Dean Cash. Josh, can't wait to see my wife's eyes glaze over when I explain how a cash day is a good day. Oh man, yep. That sounds about right. Yep. That's funny. D-Wall Green, D-Wall, good to see you, man. You've been lurking in the shadows, huh? I've not been seeing you around too much. Do well, nice work. All right, let's give it 5 more minutes. I'll probably call it, see if this little consolidation can resolve. See if this thing can resolve one way or another. Just kind of caught between 24,910 and 24,945. Dave Small Green with a trailer. Solid. Good work. Let's see. Do we have movement anywhere? Let's check some of the others. Okay, RTY looks a little better. It's up near session highs. RTY strong yesterday. YM. YM is up near the highs as well. ES just consolidating just shy of the highs. And then NQ pretty much for the most part mirroring some ES here. D well, I've been working on developing patience, but so far no success. Try golden ticket method, which is basically only allow, like, you have to go extreme with it, only allow yourself one trade per day. Yeah, you have to force it. You got to force it in an extreme way. So basically, the question becomes, if I was only going to take one trade today, would this be that trade? And it will force you to be hypercritical and make sure it's the right setup that you actually want to take. But that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. The barrier to entry to place a trade is basically nothing. You just click button, boom. We're in there. But patience goes hand in hand with discipline. Because if impatience, let me flip it this way. Impatience typically means a trader is deviating from their rules, from their framework in one way or another. Oh boy, one trade per day. Yeah. Yeah, man. You got to go extreme with it. If it sounds like it would be painful, it's probably exactly what you need. Pratik, using a hard broker lockout helps. The issue I've found with the uh, broker lockout for trade number is that it counts each execution as a trade. That was one of the funniest things in some of my videos, like reviewing my stats on some random day. It'll show like 20 trades, and half the comments are like, 20 trades in a day. Oh my God. And it's because I scale out. And so each one of those executions, the platform is considering a trade. That's not what I would consider a trade, right? So for example, today, this is one trade, but a broker platform is going, most of them are going to consider that four trades because it's four executions. But that's just one trade, right? Now, if I that was only 3 micros, if I had more contracts, it would be even more. So All right. There's nothing happening here. I think we're gonna call it. I think we'll call it. We'll take our scalp. We'll take our one trade today. 24,800 main watch this morning. We got the long there, trailed out, very tight, very similar to yesterday. What I'm going to be looking at late morning, mid morning, late morning, like I mentioned, I like this zone. I would like to see a bounce down in that zone if price can get back there, or I need action like above 25K, ideally above this whole area, but I would look at 25K specifically. Anywhere in between here is a no trade zone. I will not be placing a trade. Uh, Albert, thank you for the reminder. Yeah, Mr. Rain Man, Mr. Ray is going to be live in the Traders Think Tank here in about 10 minutes. Going over just, I think he has a little presentation, a little tutorial. So if you guys are in the Traders Think Tank, keep an eye out for that. I recommend jumping in. That is one of my former one-on-one clients, now full-time trader, and one of our moderators in the Traders Think Tank. So jump in for that. Otherwise, thank you guys for your time, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.